Hola, clase. Am, Vamos a escribir una carta al futuro yo. We're all going to choose this. It's not a choice. Really. You're writing a letter to yourself, and that's the only thing you're doing this week. Um, Last week's assignment was a little longer, so if you're still working on that, please try to get it into me within the next few days, since the end of the quarter is almost here. My goodness. So those Lorax essays, please keep them coming. So you're writing a letter to yourself that I will not read, but I'll just check that it's in Spanish. This is a tradition that's been going on in Spanish 4 classes since before I was in high school. So I was a student in Mr. Gorlitz's, Senor Gorlitz's class in 1991 as 1990, I think 1991, yes, as a junior. And we were given the task of writing a letter to ourselves as kind of a closing activity for the year. And I thought it was really silly, but when I took over for Senior Gorlitz in 1999, I found a big drawer of letters, and he had continued to send them out over the years, and I discovered mine in the pile. And if we were in the classroom, I would show you the archive of letters. So they get sent out 10 years from some point in June, 10 years from 2020 for you, so it'll be 2030. And I luckily kept up my Spanish so I could understand what it said. And so for those of you that don't think you'll continue with Spanish in the future, of course all of you will. But for those of you maybe that are nervous, you can include an English version too. And it's a kind of a way, and I think with this interesting time we're living in, it would be a great way to comment and have some record of what you've gone through. So you'll probably use the present to describe yourself. You'll use a little bit of the past to talk about how the year went, and you'll also use the future tense. Okay, so probably present, preterite, and future, maybe a little subjunctive if you want to say when I am however many years old. I did put some links in for some of our videos from before, so I'll review. If you need them, you can look at them. But my model, which I'll also include, you can see as I'm having a header, I have the date. Now, I don't have mine here with me, so I just sort of tried to write down what I could remember, obviously in much better Spanish than I wrote it in then. So, querida, because I'm a female, so James and Sean, you're going to write querido. Yo del futuro. Hola. And then present progressive. Estoy escribiendo esta carta. I'm writing this letter. And there's some preterite in there. He said it would be fun. This year has been, I used a little present perfect, something we reviewed earlier. You can go back to that folder if you need it, but probably won't use it that much. Describing what I'm currently doing in the present tense. Tengo muchas clases. Talking about la clase de física and precálculo. Talking about the students in my class, which I don't think I remembered them all because this is, wow, more than 30 years later. Or is it 30 years? I don't know. How old am I? Oh, almost 30 years. Talking about how what we did in class. And escribimos muchos diarios. I remember that. Talking about some things that happened. Now, I know you guys didn't get to have prom, so you could talk about that and how you feel about that. Somebody ripped my prom dress, so I didn't really have a very good time. Thinking about Regents Week for me. I remember being nervous about the English Regents. Also talking about how I have a boyfriend and thinking about what I will be in 10 years. So here's the future tense. Seré en 10 años. Oops. Seré maestra de español. I actually literally wrote that in my letter. I thought it was hysterical. I didn't remember writing it. I opened my letter and it did say that. I said maybe I'll be a Spanish teacher. Oh, well, look at that. It was a little bit predictive. And then talking about maybe what I thought I would be at that point. Again, using the subjunctive when I use cuando or some of those K expressions for the future. And it should be a little longer than that because I just quickly wrote it up, but about a page. If you're typing it, it doesn't have to be a full page. Maybe a little, like a half a page, a little more than this. If you're double spacing it, it would make a full page. Okay, so I didn't double space. But that's, since we don't have the materials where I would give you an envelope, you could show me it's in Spanish really quickly and put it in the envelope so I wouldn't look at it. I promise you I won't read them. You're going to just submit them on Schoology with your email, and I will come back to it at some point when I can print them and not look at them. And actually, maybe I think I'll ask for your emails and I'll email them to you somehow. Okay? And if that doesn't work, you can include your physical address too. Now, I know people move, but they can be sent to your email address or your current physical address, and they would be forwarded if there's like it's your parents' address. If their parents move, it would be forwarded to their address, hopefully. Or sometimes the letters do get returned to me, so I'll hold on to them, and you will have maybe a 10-year reunion, which you'll come back to, and you could always visit me at the school. And will I still be there in 10 years? Maybe one of you will be the Spanish teacher. So you can come and just get it from me if I don't mail it to you. So it's really fun. It's nice. It's a short, quick thing to do to sort of end the year, summarize the year a little bit, and talk about good and bad and think about the future. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. And next week will be also just a really quick thing, I promise. Hasta luego. Miss you guys. Adios.